Well, at least I know now why they call it the Black River Boat Ride. There's nothing there!
Alton Towers. The Gothic seat of the Earls of Shrewsbury has a secret. Beneath the towers flows the Black River, taking sinners to meet their fate. There is room for you too, traitor. Your fate awaits.
Hey guys, Sean Evans here at Lift Hills and Thrills, and I'm here to talk to you today about the Black River Boat Ride in Alton Towers Dungeons. Now, I had the honour of going down to the Alton Towers Dungeons press day, and it was one of the coolest experiences that I had when I was doing my movie channel. And that's one of the reasons why Lift Hills and Thrills was born in the first place, because my movie channel was being invited to a lot of theme park things. And Alton Towers was the second press day that I went to after this Wicker Man experience that I had, because I missed the original press day and they invited me down a few days later. With the Alton Towers Dungeons, we walked in and you go through the judge scene at the start, and then you jump on the Black River ride. Now, what I love about the Alton Towers Dungeons is the actor interaction with the crowd. Now, once you're waiting to go in, even before you go into the judge section, you have your photo taken and there's like interaction there. So with the social distancing, you actually split off into different groups, and for some reason I always end up in the peasants group. So I'm always in there, and then that's how they do it with social distancing. So they're splitting everybody up into their own little category, and you go through one at a time into each of the different rooms. And with the press day, we were fortunately not shown the boat ride. So once we'd seen everything else behind the scenes during this press day, I was like, oh, what about this boat ride? Like, why aren't we been showing that? Like, are they doing something really cool and unique with it? Like, what's going on? And when I finally went round to opening day and went on the boat ride, I can completely and wholly understand why they did not let press onto the boat ride that day. It is one of the most disappointing rides in that building in the history of Alton Towers. It's empty. Definitely angered a spirit. As you go through this boat ride experience, the actual dispatch part is brilliant. You've got an actor guiding you on how to get into the boat, make sure you don't step in the water, make sure you step in the boat. It's really cool. It's really interactive. You're like, this is really, really cool. Like, what am I going to experience next on this boat ride? And you sit in the boat and you go through, and that's it. At various intervals during the actual ride, you get little animatronic sections, such as a guy popping out of a cauldron and various different torture equipment. But these animatronics and models are about the equivalent of what you'd see in a permanent ghost train fixture. There's nothing special there whatsoever. And the thing with the boat ride is that when you go past certain sections, they light up. So obviously you're distracted and you're looking over here. Complete misdirection, because if you look everywhere else around you, it's black. There's no other theming. Now, it's called the Black River Ride, but the river itself is shadowed in darkness. That should be black. You know, that's a no-brainer. It's a black river. But the other walls around it, that's just lazy theming. Like, it's ridiculously low themed. Like, compared to what's come before it, you can tell that this Alton Towers Dungeon, it might just be a temporary attraction. I can't see it being around for too long. Now, I enjoyed the experience. I love the Dungeons experience at Alton Towers. It's definitely a scaled down version compared to your Blackpool Dungeons, your London Dungeons. But, you know, it is what it is. And you're in there for a good 45 minutes. The acting's pretty great. And some of the scenes, especially if you go for the first time, are incredible. And the Molly Lee scene right at the end is impressive no matter how many times I've seen it now. It's just like, whoa, where did she come from? How did she get there? How was this illusion done? And, you know, it's a good immersive experience. The set design is great everywhere in the dungeons. That's why the boat ride is such a low bar. It's like everything else around it is set such a high bar, and then the boat ride's like, well, we didn't really bother with that, so we just kind of left four walls empty and just put a few little animatronics here, there, and everywhere. So you've got poor animatronics that wouldn't look out of place in a bargain bucket ghost train. You've got blank walls as far as the eye can see. Some of the projections are cool in places, but it's just making up for lack of theming. It's like, well, we can't afford the theming, or we're not bothering with theming, so let's throw a projector at this wall and paint a little picture. There's nothing there that kind of grasps me in and pulls me into the story. It detaches me from what I've just witnessed in the judge room. and it's the weakest part of the entire Dungeons experience for me, because all the other segments bring that immersiveness. Yeah, I just think it's the weakest attraction that's ever been in that building. I'm sure many people might agree. I'm sure many people will disagree. You could tell just walking around that this wasn't made to be a permanent attraction. It was made and propped up in half the time that a normal Dungeons attraction is usually takes to build and set up. They obviously had the ride system in place from Charlie and Toyland Tours. It's the same ride system, so that didn't take much doing. But you can tell that it was rushed and half-arsed. That's all I'm gonna say in terms of that boat ride. Everything else is fine. It's fine. It's fine. I started this video positive, didn't I? I was like, just thinking about it more and more. I've been to the Dungeons about 5 times now. I always make a habit to go in just to see if anything's changed, and it never changes. The only thing they did for Scarefest was have actors roaming around outside. They didn't change anything inside. It just gives me a very strong indication that it's not going to be around for too long. And yeah, you can tell. I'd love to hear your thoughts below in regards to just the river ride, because like I say, the rest of the dungeon attraction, if it wasn't for the actors and the theming of the sets that you're in, I think it'd be a very poor attraction. But the acting and the sets themselves are pretty cool, and how they interact with the audiences, I think that's really cool. I'd love to hear your thoughts on just the Black River ride in the comments box below, or maybe just what you think of the dungeon. Do you think it's going to be around for quite a long time? Do you think when David Williams' world opens up that it's gonna, force Dungeons to shut quicker than planned? Anything like that, drop us a comment. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the dislike button for whatever reason floats your boat and it still supports my video. I've been Sean Evans, you've been watching Lift Hills and Thrills, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.